Hey, Logan.
Hello.
How are you? Other than exhausted.
You exhaust is not the word. It's been a 24. It's been a weekend into a Monday, sir. Um man, the whirlwind is a good word.
Yeah. 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 But what a weekend, though. If you're joining us this evening, welcome to our Monday Night Live show where we talk all things Lorcana. We're a little slow today because we didn't sleep much this weekend, and a lot of emotions, a lot of fun, a lot of amazing memories. And we're going to talk about a lot of it this evening with some awesome folks. And yeah, if you're here live, yeah, feel free to ask us any questions throughout the show, the chat. I see a lot of you here fresh from the DLC. Fairy Queen Tink joining us from Disney World too. Thanks for saying hi. Color straight from DLC to a live stream. You guys are, yeah, I mean,
Something like that.
not smart probably, but something. Glumineers are here. Thanks for the great pictures this weekend. I actually used one of your photos for the thumbnail. Full disclosure. Sophie Katz, great seeing both. Yeah, look at all these folks here. So yeah, say hi. Also, streaming on Instagram, I think, for the first time like ever. So to the 4 of you watching on Instagram right now, hello.
We got 4 on Instagram. We got the one Facebook viewer, Blake Wood,
Oh, Blake Wood holding it down.
holding it down on Facebook.
Facebook. You're a trooper over there. You know, there's other platforms cool too. Um, so yeah, look all these. You know, we should highlight chats of people saying hello. And there's that. Look at all these folks here. All right,
Who
Stephen
would have
Witt,
thought
completely
the day
exhausted.
after who would have thought the day after a DLC there'd be so many people just willing to come hang out on a Monday night?
Yeah, absolutely. Look at all these folks. Steve Witz, by the way, I see in the chat talking about watching the mail truck. He said he usually watches he can't make the show usually, but watches the show on the mail runs the next day on Mondays or Tuesdays rather. So, but live tonight. So look at that. Lorcana means no sleep. Yep. Yep. Back to yep. That's
Never
the
have
way it goes.
truer words been spoken for this weekend.
Yeah. But what a weekend, Logan. I don't know. Overall impressions.
Uh I man,
I
it's hard to
know.
find words. It was, gosh, I'm gonna try not to cry just talking about the weekend, but like, man, it's been so long since we've all been together like that, and it just felt like a family reunion again. It was great. I saw so many people I haven't seen since Continentals, and then even more that I hadn't seen since Seattle, and man, it just felt like a family gathering all over again. It was fantastic. Like, tournament aside, all the things that happened aside, seeing everyone that I've met over the last 2 years and just getting to just give out hugs and just cheer on people that were doing well. So many, like, I mean, dude, so many of my friends are doing well. Maelstrom as a whole, we showed up and like did so well. 5 of the 8 of us ended up making day 2, which is just an insane conversion rate. Um, I couldn't be prouder, and I couldn't have been happier with how the weekend went overall. Were there some hiccups? Sure, but I mean, overall, it was what I wanted out of the first North American DLC.
Yeah, I agree. And you always do this thing where you say things so perfectly that then I try to come in on the back end and just mess it up. Um, but no, very well said. And you know, again, I know there will be people who do have some critical comments, and there's always things to improve, and certainly there are things to improve here. But overall, like it did all the biggest things right, and it was just yeah. And I think what made it special for me, like there's a ton of things I could talk about, but one of the things that really occurred to me was the fact that it had been so long since the last DLC. And I guess we could call Continentals kind of like a DLC light.
Yeah,
There wasn't as much of the public, but it was open, and so there were a lot of folks there. But that was back in January, and so it's been 9 months since then, and in that time, the community has matured so much more. We've had several different sets. We've had a lot more people come into the game. So many people I talked to started the game in sets like 5, 6, and 7 even, and they were at this DLC. And we've had more time to get to know the best players in the community and some of the other content creators. So like it was just a completely different experience this time. I don't know. I don't know. The community's a lot more. It's grown a lot since
No,
last.
I agree. I mean, so we were talking about this even at the CCQ in Denver. There are more eyes and players on Disney Lorcana than there ever have been. And as more sets come out and more tournaments go on, I mean, we're just going to keep on seeing new faces, which is fantastic. I mean, there were so many people that I met in Milwaukee that were like, "This is my first TCG. This is my first DLC experience," and I'm just like, "Welcome to the family. Like, this is what it's like." It's gosh, man, just the energy in the room and everybody that I got to see, I just couldn't be more grateful for. This game is this game in the community is like genuinely changed my life for the better. And every time I get a chance to go to a big event like this and see so many people, it's I mean, just the only word I can say is it's just a family reunion.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't get this vibe at like any other convention, TCG or otherwise, that I go to. It's just it's a really surreal experience. I Before we move on and talk about some more stuff, like um, I had a really like my favorite. I had a lot of favorite moments this weekend. One of them was as the moment the door, because so to paint the picture, like the commentators get there late on Thursday. And then
Yeah,
Friday is like a media day. And so we spend the day basically hanging out in the venue, doing some pictures, shooting some promo footage, going through tech rehearsals, getting prepped. There's a lot going on. But the venue is closed to the public. So we're kind of all just hanging out in this open venue, hanging out with the judges, who are a lot of them are friends as well. And then at about, was it like 4 o'clock, the doors open to the public.
yeah,
And
four
all
o'clock.
of a sudden, there's like 2,000 people in line trying to register, get their badge and everything. So they're set for the next day. And as you can imagine, the line is long. It actually did move pretty quickly, I thought. But even if it's moving as quickly as possible, there's like 2,000 people in line.
Yeah,
So it turns into like this Disney-like queue where everybody's just hanging out. And I went over simply to like see what was going on. And the moment I went over, somebody recognized me, and I it was really nice. I got to take a photo, and it was really, really neat. It all of a sudden felt like a family, and I saw people I recognized and went over to say hello. I saw other content creators. I think I saw like Pandaric Quests in line, and some other folks. And then I saw Maelstrom back there. I ran into Sailor, and every like 3 people or 4 people, it was somebody I knew. So then I just hung out in the line, and I committed flagrant line violations by just like weaving in and out of the lines and causing chaos. I was afraid I was going to get thrown out. I skipped lunch so I could just hang out and move around the lines. And that was the moment for me that it really clicked, like how many people I knew, how many people, we all knew, and that it was just going to be this family-like atmosphere for the weekend. And I just got to goof around, hoping to like distract people from the fact that they were in like a 50-minute line. And it was pretty surreal.
so
So
somewhat of a similar experience. We stayed at an Airbnb that was like a 5-minute walk away, if that. I got there at a different time than everybody else. I forget exactly. It was now that I live in Iowa, it's only like a 3.5 hour drive for me. But I get in the elevator and there are like 4 or 5 people that come in behind me because they're also in the same space. And as the door closes, one of them turns around and he's like, "I've seen you before." I'm like, "Maybe, possibly." He's like, "No, Lumineers." And I was like, "Oh yeah, hi." So like that was the kickoff to the weekend, and then we all get to the venue, and just as we walk in, the first people that saw me actually were all of my new Iowa locals. They were all in line ahead of me, and I get this picture on Discord of me standing in line and like, we see you. And I'm like, my new locals that a couple of them I've not actually had the pleasure of meeting in person, and a couple that I have played in set champs with, my first week being in Iowa, all of them were there. And man, like, to have that kickoff, like, my new family, I guess you could say, to be the first ones to greet me at this 2,000 person event that I've, spent the last 2 years cultivating a community with, to the first people that see me be the people who I'm now moved closer to, was a wild and surreal experience. It was just another one of those, wow, the world really is small moment. And It was just moments like that all weekend, man. Just like every few people, just like you were saying, every 3 to 5 people I would see is somebody that I knew, and just another hi, how you doing? Just giving out hugs all over the place, and that was just like the first couple of hours.
Yeah.
That's not even like going throughout the rest of the event. But it was just like that constantly, and man, there's no better feeling, honestly. Like you said it the best. I've never felt this kind of camaraderie like we have when we have big events like this, and it just every event, like I'm just shown more and more why I want to advocate for this community and continue to be a part of it and continue to help cultivate and grow it, because there's something special that we have that I don't think any other community has. And maybe it really is the Disney magic, but like there's something about it.
Yeah. I mean, I completely agree. And before we move on, like one of the things that occurs to me is you're talking about, your new Iowa Lorcana family. Like that's kind of the power of this game. And I guess any hobby, but we'll use Lorcana here as the example. And I think Lorcana does it better than many other hobbies. Like you move to a new place and immediately can create a connection with, people who over this shared interest in this game and in this fandom. And the fact that we all can do that, move somewhere and instantly connect with our Lorcana family wherever we're at is kind of a cool thing. So yeah. Oh man, look at all these look at all these people in chat. Clara Sear here. Lumineer Tales. What time is it over there in Denmark? Because it's really late over there. So thanks for joining us from the EU. Megan Sack, Rules of Villainy podcast was there in full. The St. Louis community is in the chat right now. They're in the chat in full force. Ink Table, great seeing you all. Look at that. Okay, we have so much we need to talk about tonight, Logan. We have to talk about your run eventually, because it was pretty incredible. The draft we can talk about. There's all sorts of stuff. But before we do that, I think we should start, since we have a pretty important guest waiting in the green room, talking about one of the biggest stories of the weekend.
Absolutely.
You wanna lead into it?
Yeah. I mean, so I was made aware of this player only after he accomplished probably the biggest feat of the weekend. Immediately, Maelstrom Team Chat was like, actually, no, I was made aware of him when he made top 32, and then from there we were just kind of watching him, and then he ended up defeating DKP, and that's when everyone immediately exploded. And there's like, if there's something that's going to encapsulate the feel of Disney Lorcana and Disney Magic, like this is the event, or this is the moment of the weekend that really shows that off.
Yeah. I will say, as the chat blows up here, the thing that made it special for a lot of us who've been to a lot of these DLCs, and especially those who've been, I will say, on like the production side, is we've been waiting for this to happen for a while.
Yes.
There's a lot of very talented young Lumineers, young players in the community, and they show up not only with DLCs, but you did have, looking back, you had Lucas Arano win a CCS, which was kind of a big deal, going through Kendall Burdett, and that's probably the closest thing we have to this so far. But there's a lot of very talented young players. There's just not terribly many that show up to the challenges, and at some point, it's just a math problem as well. And so we've been waiting for a long time for a younger player to kind of crack that top cut and show that, there are plenty of young talented players who can hang with those who have been playing TCGs for 20 and 30 years. And I don't know that I expected it to happen so soon this season, but that's what made it extra special. And actually, it occurs to me, Logan, that we're just dancing around the thing here, and everybody in the chat knows that Aiden is 10. Aiden is 10.
Yeah.
And he's the one who I think is the story of the tournament, other than Frank Karsten, becoming the first 2-time winner. But before we talk more about his story, let's just bring him in and ask him his story ourselves. What do you think?
I think that'd be easier.
Let's just do that. Let's just do that. All right. Hey, Aiden, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hey, you have a lot of fans in the chat. A lot here. All of St. Louis may be watching. Yeah. So how are you feeling, Aiden?
I'm feeling really good. Just came off a top 8.
Yeah. I asked you some of these questions yesterday, but in the interest of sharing with the wider community, I mean, did you go in like thinking, hey, you know what, I'm gonna go make Top Cut, I'm gonna beat the world champion, or did you go in saying, hey, you know what, I'm just gonna do my best, maybe make day 2? Like, where was your head at? Did you ever see yourself here?
Definitely not. It was like in my hopes and dreams. Like I was hoping to make day 2, but that's basically it.
Yeah. So can you talk a little bit about your run? Like, you start, you're like 1-0 and then 2-0, and you're like, okay, this is like a tournament. And then over time, you slowly, realize I might make day 2. And how did you start to grapple with the idea that you kept winning and you might actually, make the top cut?
It felt really nice. I think I was like 5-1 going into round 7, and then I lost that match. So I was feeling like it comes down to this last match, and I ended up winning that one to go 6-2 day 1.
And then you're like, okay, I made day 2, mission accomplished. But I'm gonna go. So then you're 6-2. It's Saturday night. You're heading back, going to bed, getting ready for the next day. What are you thinking then?
Basically, I was just thinking, yay, made day 2. I don't care if I lose out the next day. I just got day 2. I'm just like, yes.
Probably the youngest player in day 2, I'm guessing. Probably.
No, I think
No,
there was one other
yes.
kid that made day 2.
He has a YouTube channel called Kid Kana.
Yes, I got
Yeah.
I have a sticker. It's in my blazer. Yeah, okay, that's right. Where's in my pocket? No. Yeah, Kid Kana. I did meet him. He played Specie, I think, at one point. Yeah. Okay.
Did not know that.
Yeah, another great player. Okay, so you're heading into day 2. You're 6-2. You're like, okay, this is cool. And then you win again, and now you're 9-2, and you're heading into the last round. What's your head like going into that game, knowing that this is basically you're winning in?
I'm like, I actually have a shot at this. So I'm like, I need to win this next match. So I was like, can I please play a Blurple or something?
And
was it a Blurple?
No, I ended up playing a Ruby Amethyst damage deck.
Wow, actually.
I was on the play. I ended up 2-0ing it, but it almost got me game 1 because so I got out the Tiana early and then you got the Pluto. But the Tiana was kind of helping them because every time that they ran a character into it, they would take 1 damage. So once they got 1 damage on the board, they could just keep putting it on because Mother Gothel's effect goes before the Pluto challenge.
Yep.
So basically, you can run into it, move 1 damage to Pluto, so it only takes 1 damage, and then you can just keep running your little guys into it, moving the damage around until you eventually kill it. So I ended up, I was top decking, and I had a 2 damage Tiana up, and they had Mother Gothel. I top decked a Nala at 15 lore. So I held the Tiana, and she didn't have any removal. So I ended up winning that one. Top decks can do a lot.
Oh, you had some talked up moments throughout the weekend for sure, both for you and against you. We'll talk about that a bit, but it's so crazy to me. Like, you go into the top, you don't expect to run into a Ruby Amethyst deck in the winning in.
Absolutely not.
That's wild.
I will say that just from the story I heard, so Colors Law got to talk to him after he was 10-2, and I don't think it had quite sunk in that he was in Top Cut. Her recollection that she was talking to, I think she said in chat, she talked to him and she was like, "Oh, how are you feeling?" And he was like, "I'm 10-2. I think I get a Simba." And she was like, "No, you're going to Continentals." And he's like, "I mean, like maybe, but like I for sure get a Simba."
Is that? Did you realize you'd made it at that point?
I mean, it wasn't a guarantee because there's definitely a bunch of other 10-2s that bubble out.
That's
bubbled out. So I'm like, depending on my tiebreakers. but I knew I was guaranteed to Simba.
No, that's true. That's fun. So for the audience here, let's just familiarize them with what you were playing so we can kind of complete the story. So let me pull this up here. So you're on this list. You said this is Sky's list with a small adjustment. Why did you choose to take this in? Like, what was it about this deck that kind of spoke to you?
Well, it wasn't me that chose the deck.
Oh, yeah?
So I was originally going to play Dogs, but then, like a few days before the DLC, I played this Amber Seal deck a lot. Like got second out of 1K, got top 4 in another 1K, running this list close to it. So, and my dad was like listening to all the things, and it was like, a lot of the good players are playing Dogs, but Amber Seal has a better matchup spread into everything. So I decided to go with this deck because it just seemed right in the format.
It definitely has the effect right now that if you have the right 7 cards in your altar, there's nothing in the format that can stop you. So,
Yeah.
I mean, like anybody who ever picks Amber Steel, I mean, you're never truly, I don't think you're ever truly disadvantaged just because of how powerful your turns 1 through 4 can actually be.
Yeah.
Yeah. The worst matchup for if you're playing Amber Steel is green blue, and then you can just use your Peats to stop that as you just start questing for gamers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So even your bad matchup is still kind of a good matchup.
Yeah. So you said this was kind of your dad like monitoring the meta, and he said, "Hey, this is the deck I think that has the best chance." Kind of his advice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like my dad does all the researching on the meta, so basically I just go to school, do all my stuff, and then practice the deck. So and then brought up this deck. I saw Sky win it, so I'm like, I want to try the Aurora version. So.
Okay, so that's awesome. And you got to meet Sky when we were down there too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome. So one of the things I want to highlight, and I want to show a quick video here to kind of make this point before we talk a little bit more about your journey, because something you said, your dad doing the research and everything else. Like I was super annoying down there, and when you started to make your run and you were playing Frank and all that, I wanted to get to know you and your family and kind of get a feel for your story. So I was probably hanging around a little too much, but I really wanted to get a feel for like you and how you're so good in your journey and all that. And the impression that I was really left with, it was made very clear to me by everybody around you, family, friends, and everything else, that this was really a family victory as well as yours. Your entire family plays Lorcana, as I understand it. Your brother is a very talented player as well. Shout out to him. He went 6-1 in Infinity on Sunday, which is no small feat. And your dad doing the research and all of that. And to highlight the point, before I asked you kind of your opinion on this, I want to show a video here of you being interviewed. This is Rebecca doing your interview, I think, before the DKP match or after the DKP match. And you can see your family around. That's your brother there. And I was just really moved by how excited your brother was for you. And like, this was my experience, all weekend, seeing your family and how they were supporting you and just talking about how much, I don't know, how much you all worked for this. It's pretty cool. So, I don't know. I'm trying not to cry now.
I mean, I think we talked about it a little bit, right? This is something we've been waiting for a long time. We've been talking about it since Luca won CCS. There are a lot of young Illumineers that are genuinely talented at the game, and it's just a matter of time until one takes a DLC. And after Aiden beat DKP, I honestly was like, oh, well, I mean, like, this is just Aiden's tournament. Like, this is the one first North American DLC of season 2. Like, this is going to be the one where a kid ends up taking it. And I don't think that there's anything that shows off like the Disney magic of the game more than that. And I mean, just to finally have what we've been waiting for happen is it's a special moment, and Aiden being the first is just I don't know how we top it, to be honest.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, Aiden, do you want to talk? There's a fun, I think, anecdote about like the kitchen table, like in your house, but do you want to talk about that at all?
It used to be our dining room. Now it's like completely our Lorcana room. Like we got a bunch of playmats in there. We got our cards separated. My mom does all the separating, so really nice for that.
Yeah.
So then we got like the dining room, so we can just play Lorcana there, sitting on the table. So, I mean, not sitting on the tables, sitting at the table.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It was funny. I was talking to your family and I was like, why Lorcana and all that. And I understand like during the pandemic, you all got into games and then there was a family vote about whether or not to, as a family, try out Lorcana. I understand you were vehemently a yes. And then it's turned into this thing where you have the playmat set up at the table. And, one of the questions that I was trying to figure out, I'm like, why are you, so talented at this game? And I think it's the same as it is for most really talented players. One is, just talent. You just have a knack for, the game. And clearly your family does as well, because shouting out your brother again, 6-1 in Infinity in that field is no small feat. So a very talented family. But the other thing is, the story I heard was like, you wake up in the morning and before school, if you have a little extra time, you're like, hey, let's play some games. And then you get home and, after school, you say, hey, if anybody wants to play a game or two. And so it's a mix of talent, but then also just work. Like you play games every single day. And as a result, the result is this. And so I really love that. I really love that quite a bit. Yes. Is he, question from the chat. Is he the youngest to make it to 8 ever? Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
By a
lot.
By a lot. So then, and Aiden, we don't want to keep you too much longer, but just to finish up your story a little bit. So then you make the top cut. You're going in, you win your top 32 match, and then you're going into top 16. When do you find out who you're playing in the top 16?
Honestly, I feel pretty good. I got the deck matchup. At this point, I already got the CTQ invite. I got the Elsa mat. So basically, I'm just playing for a Mickey. Still $10,000 a lot. But I'm like, I already got what I came for. So, like,
I love it. But like, who?
Basically, that would just be. Go on.
No, go ahead.
Basically, that would just be like icing on the cake and a lot of icing in sprinkles.
Yeah, just a cake full of icing. It's a lot of icing. You can buy a lot of icing with the Golden Mickey. But so I think everybody knows, but you ended up playing the reigning world champion in the top 16. I think he was undefeated, right? And in Swiss.
No, he was X1.
X1. Okay, so he dropped one game, but then ended up in the top cut. It's a player that you look up to. What's your connection with DKP?
I mean, I played his deck. Like, all I did was just add some spice that I liked. I added a one of Vital Sphere just to give that Maui Half Shark rush. I met him at Gen Con. He signed one of my sharks, and Ed and DKP signed 4 of my B preps. So it was pretty cool. Met him at Gen Con.
That's amazing.
So,
it blows my mind, Logan and everyone, and Aiden and everyone. Like, rewind to Gen Con, and there's a moment at Gen Con where DKP is sitting there, the world champion, signing stuff. Ed's sitting there, second place, signing stuff. And Aiden, you walk up, 10 years old, and you're like, hey, can you sign my cards? I was like, cool. And you walk away, and nobody there knows that in a few months you're going to be playing him in the top 8 match or in the top 16 match in a DLC. Like, that moment happens, which is incredible to me.
I mean, it's just one of those fun little threads that we get to look back on and like, what are the ripple effects that brought us to these special moments, right?
Yeah. So then you play DKP. I think I have. I'm gonna see. This video is. It might take me a minute to cue this up, but or to find the right spot. But I have here the video. This is the crowd watching you play. You can see there's a lot of folks here. Just a few. I'm not sure if the noise is coming through. Over on the left, incidentally, you can see there's Dan. That's your next opponent playing over there. But you can see nobody's really looking at Dan. Everybody's looking to the right there. So how is this match going, Aiden? Like, what happens in this match?
Clearly he wins.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I definitely win because that's my dad and that's my parents. Everybody super happy. So he won game 1, so I was like, well, dang. But I never really felt bad about my on the play match because I'm like, Blurple on the play, I feel like I got this. And then going into I kept all 7. Game 2, he mulliganed all 7. Game 2, so I felt really good. So, yeah. Game 3, I kept all 7, and he mulliganed, I think, 4. Yeah, my line was pretty insane game 3.
You just had it?
Yeah, my line was Aurora into Tiana into my Aurora lives since he missed his 1 cost, so I quested my Aurora again, paid 2 for another Tiana, inked, played a Daisy, quested for 2 with my... Actually, no. I sang Strength on his Dumbo. And then next turn I inked and played a Pluto, quested out, and that was almost game there.
I mean, like, yeah, I can't think of any functional line in the game after you've like just taken off the only character they have on board. Like, you just... It's like an unlosable game state that you just were able to craft.
I mean, he did get out a Tipo, but the Tipo is not going to do much against a Pluto and 2 Tianas in Aurora.
No.
In a
No.
All right, I want to do. I said we weren't going to keep you too long, Aiden. I think it's a school night. So I appreciate you being here. I have one. I'm going to ask a question to close. Before I get there, if you have time, I'm going to queue up one more video. I mean, while I'm doing that, Logan, if you have any other questions, or if there's any questions from the chat, by the way, for Aiden, feel free to ask. I know all of St. Louis is there. It's crazy tonight, so feel free to ask.
So yeah, no. So one good one that I saw for Aiden specifically, if you were going to either encourage or tell someone who's in the age bracket of 7 to 10, who's maybe trying to get into Lorcana and hasn't played TCGs, and this is something they're really wanting to try out, like, what is some advice that you would give them, or something that you would say that would encourage them to just keep at it?
I mean, it's more of just never give up, keep practicing. A tool that you can do is, it's like, one key part of playing the game is knowing your opponent's lines. So, like, if you have, like, a practicing buddy and you guys keep playing the exact same deck, the exact same matchup, swap decks and then see if you can try to learn their line and everything like that.
Would you say that you've bounced around from deck to deck for a while? Like, I know you're saying you played a lot of Ruby Sapphire when you were going after, like watching DKP initially, and now this set you're playing Amber Steel. Have you played a lot of Amber Steel this set? I know you said you were considering Chernadogs before Amber Steel, but have you kind of focused on those 2 decks this set? Do you bounce around a lot, or do you just kind of hone in on one and say, I'm going to learn everything I can about this specific ink combination and try to get as much out of it as possible?
Like, this set, it was kind of awkward for me because I'm like, red blue's not even a deck anymore. I need to find something else. So the closest thing to my playstyle was probably green blue because it was control. I played it a little bit, but I feel like it was too high rolly. Like, basically, the deck's worst matchup was yourself. Like, you could lose to yourself.
It's very much so. The deck feels almost like the Emerald Steel of a couple of sets ago, where you can do very, very powerful things and you can put your opponents in almost a no-win game state, but you have to find your 4 or 5 pieces in your altar. But I feel like Emerald Sapphire is even harder on that, because if you don't find Clarabelle Shift, you almost just don't have a game in any world.
Yeah, that's why I went to Amber Shield. I'm like, so I played a list to get to top 4 once in a 1K. So I did not run Tiana. I ran Tiana. I did not run Aurora. When I started running Aurora was when I saw Sky do really well, and I'm like, hey, I want to do a Quadra 1 drop too. The
So
Tiana line is also powerful, and
yeah, so very much to that point, when we were in Denver for the CCQ, that was kind of what he said that weekend. He was like, I feel like when I put Aurora in the deck, I'm playing an Infinity deck and everybody else is playing a core constructed deck, because I can do so many powerful things. I can just cheat out Tianas, I can cheat out Mulans, I can cheat out more Auroras if I want to. Just having that ability to get out a lot of things quickly and being able to operate your deck on 2 to 3 ink consistently, I think was the big game changer for that. What were you doing before you put Auroras in the deck? Or is it just the I forget what the 1-drops were before we were doing Auroras, to be honest with you. It feels like ancient history at this point.
Yeah, it was mainly just hyper aggro, all gas, no brakes. Just go, get to 20 lore as fast as you can, shut them down. So basically, you just turn right, you go Daisy into Nala, into Lady Nala, into Pluto, and then just quest out. Like, that's basically the deck.
All right. Everybody's at home taking notes right now. Aiden, we've kept you longer than we said we would, and your parents are never going to let you come back if I don't let you go soon. But I want to play one more video, and then I will ask you one last question. Although I think, Logan, you may have already answered it, but I'm going to ask it again just in case you didn't, because I was distracted. But let me play this video, and if you all can't hear the sound, let me know. Otherwise, it's no good, and then I'll just have to cue it up a different way. All right, let me do this thing. One of the stories of the day is you playing young Aiden. You got to face off with him in the top 16 Golden Mickey match. What do you think of him as a player?
So first, Aiden was facing like really bad odds because he was on the draw first, right? But he was like not showing any like signs of anxiousness or something. He just played like so. He played so well. Like it was. I can't even describe it. For a 10-year-old, I've never seen such a young player who played this with such confidence, and I couldn't see any misplays. So it was like he played really fast. He played faster than I did. Just no misplays, really clean. He knew perfectly what he was doing. It's like he's 10 years old, but 10 years Lorcana experience, you know. And he deserved the win easy. Like he destroyed me. He completely destroyed me. I could do nothing. And great player. And I think maybe we have to talk with someone.
I have to say, like, you know, I'm sure you've heard this already, but you are one of his favorite players, one of the players that he looks up to. And so you, in many ways, are responsible for his Lorcana journey of inspiring him. What does that mean to you?
I actually didn't know that, so I'm really happy to hear that. Like, he talked to me while we were playing with P. He didn't really say anything in that direction. He talked, I'm finally playing against a world champ, but I didn't really hear that he was like a big fan or something. But hearing that now, it makes me really happy. Like,
he has Shark signed by DKP.
Yeah, I met him at GenCon actually, and he signed his stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, and yes, so I'm super happy to play against him. Now I also saw how well he's playing, and yeah, I'm really excited actually to even try to coach him for Continentals. I see like a big potential, maybe even being the next world champ. So yeah.
You're the best. All right, thank you so much, Giga.
All right. I just wanted to share that with you and everybody. You have a new fan, Aiden. How does it feel having, a player of DKP's caliber, like, I don't know, talk that highly of your play?
I mean, it feels really, really good. I mean, I was not expecting to have this, so
Mhm.
it's really grateful.
All right. My last question before I let you go. And Logan, did you ask this already? What advice would you give to younger players looking to get? Yeah, you asked that already.
I did ask that. Yeah.
All right. In that case, final question is, if you could give one tip to any Lorcana player, young or otherwise, to get better or to make them better, what would it be? Number one piece of advice.
Probably never get discouraged and always go for it.
That's the best answer. We're just gonna end the show, Logan. That's the best answer. Like,
I'm going to bed. It's time.
yeah, we're going to bed. Aiden, it's a pleasure. Thank you. Thank your family, who I know is there as well, for everything this weekend. Congratulations to you. And again, I'm gonna shout out your brother again. Congratulations to your brother for a 6-1 finish on Sunday. I look forward to seeing you the rest of your Lorcana journey. And yeah, you are welcome back anytime. So thanks so much.
Thanks for coming
Thank
to
you
talk
for
to us,
having
man.
me.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Bye. I could talk to him all night. Like I literally just
No,
wanted to- yeah.
absolutely. Like that could just be the night. Like,
Yep.
I mean, I just don't think we can reiterate it enough. I mean, this exact scenario is what we've been waiting on, and it finally happened, and like the best fashion that it possibly could. Right? Like, not only do we have our youngest Golden Mickey winner, but he had to go through the current world champion to do it, and to do it in such decisive fashion that, I mean, there was no room for someone to say, "Oh, well, he just lucked his way into it." Like, no, he absolutely skilled his way into it to the point where everybody watching was like, not only was he drawing well, but he was playing so precisely, playing so clean, knew exactly what he was looking to do. And I don't know, it just makes me excited going forward to see more young Illumineers come out like this.
Yeah, I completely agree. We mentioned the top deck thing earlier, and you talked about the skill thing. To finish the story, and I know most people know, but for anybody who doesn't, Aiden beats DKP in top 16, gets his Golden Mickey, goes to the top 8, plays a very talented player. Dan Arnold is a fantastic content creator and player, and is probably the highest ranked person who never made a top cut because he ended up on the bubble like in every challenge ever. Has like all the let it goes. And Dan finally gets his break here, gets into the top cut and meets up with Aiden in the top 8. And I very much wish we could have seen that match. I do know some folks were able to see from a distance. There was one, somebody with a camera who
Some
was
phone
conveying-
aerial view thing.
Yeah. And so we could watch some of the game. And as I understand it, I can't remember who takes game. Bottom line, we're in game 3. And Aiden has the game like on board, and he's going to win. And when you're in that scenario, there's this emotional high that you're on, knowing all my opponent needs to do is not have the answer and pass back, and I've got it. And the only thing that gets Dan out of the jam that he's in and allows him to come back and win the game is if he top decks an Under the Sea, like on that turn. And he top decks the Under the Sea on that turn. And it's such an interesting moment because it speaks to, like, I mean, this is why we play TCGs, right? Like the odds are super low, and it just happens, sometimes it breaks your way, sometimes it doesn't. In this moment, it broke Dan's way and it didn't break Aiden's way. But
I mean, it just goes back to like the Vegas moment, right? The Vegas moment on seeing, oh, who was it? He's the voice actor.
Brent McKay.
Brent McKay. He, just another one of those moments where he's like, the only thing that keeps me in the game is be prepared. So he just takes the top card of his deck, rubs it on and then flips it over, and it's to be prepared. It's the magic of those little moments that there's one thing, like, I've built my deck for this specific scenario. There's one thing in the deck that gets me there. And if I find it, then I'm the hero. And if I don't, then my opponent got there. I feel like this was that, but like to the to the nth degree. And I just don't know that I can say it better than you. Like, this is why we play TCGs. Like, it's the magic of those small moments that a single top deck just completely swings the game in your favor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to me, it was also a testament to Aiden's maturity as well, because in that moment, these are tough emotional breaks. And to the emotional like roller coaster that you go on throughout a Lorcana DLC or a large Lorcana tournament. I mean, 12 rounds and then into a top cut, like it's extreme. And to in that moment to think, to be in the top 8, potentially go on to the semifinals, a couple games away from being a DLC champion, and to think to like know that you have the game, and there's like I don't know what the odds are at that point in the game for the Under the Sea. It's below 10%. It's
Sure.
Let's say 7%, after we've gone through so much of the deck. Let's say it's even a 10% chance. To know that you have a 10% chance to win that game, I'm sorry, a 90% chance to win that game, and then to come down off that high and realize in that moment that you lost the game, that's a tough break. And to see how Aiden handled that loss as well, very, very mature, shaking Dan's hand. It was and there was emotion, after the loss. I think everything came to a head right there. But it was a really neat moment. And it's the power of sport. That's the power of games. That's the power of TCGs.
No, but I mean, again, just to highlight that moment, to have that maturity and the ability to, in that moment, not just, lose it or have a huge emotional reaction of like, look, well played, good game, shake hands and stand up, just dust yourself off. Like, I came this far. This is awesome. Now we just go next. That's something that takes people years to cultivate and figure out how to do within themselves. And he already has that. So, I mean, that just even more so proving if anybody deserved to be there, like he absolutely did.
Yeah. Man, we could talk about this. We could talk about this all night. But I'm sure this will be a story for the next few weeks, and as people talk about, and Aiden's going to get some invites to other shows, I'm sure. I think Lorcana Villain is pretty keen to chat with him as well. So there's probably a video coming there. I think I am going to work on a video as well. I did get a lot of great footage, and Aiden and his family and his friends were so gracious to talk to me throughout the day. So I'm hoping to put a video out in the next couple days of like documenting the whole journey. So hopefully that's coming. But yeah, it's a great story. And I regret not getting Aiden's autograph. That's my regret.
My one regret of the weekend.
My one regret. Okay. Anyway, again, right. If you're just joining us, thank you so much. It is Monday night where we talk all things Lorcana. Sometimes it's silly because we're coming off a DLC where we are both absolutely exhausted and tired and all that. But we're here because we have a lot of emotions and a lot of things to say and a lot of feelings that we want to talk about. So we'll talk more about Aiden in the coming weeks. I do want to bring in our other guest. The DLCs are a story about competitive play, about competition. Also a story about people finding, this community for the first time. A lot of people coming to the game later. And our next guest also has a fun DLC story and story about how he got into the game. So for a few minutes, I'm excited to welcome in Brian Mouse. And I hope I said your last name right.
Hey, everybody.
Mouse. Hey, Brian.
Well,
hi, Brian.
Yes, that's right. Because, hey, Logan, and I want to say hi to Aiden too, because that was awesome. I loved watching it. So, what's the question again? I'm so tired.
No, that's okay. We all, yeah, I hear you. Like we're all taking turns tonight, like zoning out. We just can't all zone out at the same time. That's the trick when you're live.
Somebody's got to be somewhat coherent.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Promise.
So between the three of us, we just have to hang on a little bit. No. So first off, I'm interested in your journey to Lorcana, and then I want to hear about your DLC experience. So yeah, why Lorcana?
I got it.
Yeah.
Well, German. That's how they spell Mickey Mouse, M-A-U-S. And it's Moss telling me it was Moss in America. I was born in America. So just got the last name Mouse.
Yeah.
So Disney. Here's the story in the nutshell, and so wants me to start too. I moved my family to Anaheim from Ohio, like I said, when I was 5 years old, and my father started working at Disneyland, so I grew up totally connected to Disneyland, and could get in free almost whenever I wanted to. When I got old enough, I could work there. I worked in the parades as Jasper on 101 Dalmatians with my good
Oh, that's
friend.
awesome.
Yes, I was going to call him Horace. His name is David, but he was a fat burglar, Horace. Yeah, super. The story, things in life sometimes go. So anyhow, grew up a Disney kid and a Disney adult. Made magic from around fourth. My first real TCG tournament. Yeah, that's it. Tournament, Ice Age, pre-release up in San Francisco Bay Area, and that was so much fun. So I got into it, I got into it because I was trying to get a young man who I was kind of stepfathering into something that we could do together. And so I saw these guys playing this game in the card store. And I said, what are they doing back there behind the glass? And he said, they're playing Magic the Gathering. I'm like, okay, what's that? And he showed me the little brown box with Magic the Gathering. And I said, give me 2 of those. And guess what? I got hooked. And Sean didn't quite, but he played with me for a while. And Magic for Eversley releases. And then I kind of fell off of Magic just a few years ago and heard just 3 years ago that Disney was coming out of the check. What? Okay, good. I'm on. I've been going to the local store and playing with a bunch of, oh, you were talking about community earlier. It's so good, man. Community is what it's all about for me. I mean, it chokes me up too, Liam. I mean, just to see more women in the TCG group, more kids, family, friends coming to play. It's just the best, I have that feeling, at Disneyland because of, when you walk in there and you see people, they're all happy and just they're there and you've been waiting to go. And it's very similar when you go to DLC or even to your local store, you're like, oh, Friday's coming up, or whenever you play. And so yeah, I've been in it set one. I was gonna go to DLCs, but I went to two and nationals last year, and I put together my old costume from Disneyland Parade with the puppy in the basket and the hat, and dressed up as Jasper, and people were like, "Oh, that's so cool!" And a photographer from this one, gosh, I forgot his name.
Tate.
Starts with a T. Tate, something like
Tate.
that.
Yeah.
A city of you, was it? Tate, yeah, right. I got this video of you from that time and he posted it. He said, it's got so many likes. So I'm like, oh, cool, great. So it's so much fun. And I've been going kind of with a family from local store. And the father, very much like Aiden's father, who does a lot of concentration and the head and figures out the decks and makes decks for his whole family. They have girls, a boy, wife who plays,
Yeah.
It's just super great. It's just been really a slice of life,
Yeah.
Stop there.
So
I have
this,
stories all
no,
over.
no,
the place, so
I know. Oh, I'm sure. I like, especially playing Magic all the way since Ice Age. I mean, Ice Age is a long time ago.
I didn't play
lots of
Magic,
Magic, but
so
like,
I'm out of that loop. But
it's
I'm
old.
probably better for it.
Not a great set. But but this DLC, so you
long
go
time
in,
ago. What's that? What's
and I
that?
understand, Steven tells us there's a pretty important game you played. So what was the big story for you this DLC?
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, it started off. You were talking about emotional roller coasters, and it started off for me immediately because I get the pairings for the first round, and this is my first DLC that I've gotten into itself because I missed the others. I just went to as an attendee, which is great fun all by itself, and and missed one for Seattle, and then got into this one because the father of this family said, "Hey, there's a ticket available. Why don't you go check it out?" And I'm like, "Okay, okay," because I was pretty sure I wasn't going. It was a week before this weekend, and so it was still there. I clicked on it. I'm getting better with getting fast on my phone and got the ticket. I'm like, also, okay, now I've got to get the hotel and the, transportation and the flight and all that, but just super duper. So anyhow, round one, I get the pairings and I see DKP, and I'm like, that sounds awfully familiar. I think he's somebody. Is you three. So I did know that he was a champion, but I'd forgotten it. One of the oldest players right now, I think. It's cool too. There's a very, very, very wide range of players. But anyhow, I sit down and I know who this is. And the second place, I think the second place in Worlds was right next to me. So I'm looking at the other player going, okay, and then they
This is
announced
nice.
feature matches. And well, yes, and they announced the first feature match, and I hadn't quite caught on to what was going on. And then I caught on, and I'm like, oh, this means this could be me. I'm like, oh, oh boy. So yes, it was me and DKP, and they're like, okay, get up and go over to the lights and cameras and everything. And I'm like, I don't play a lot of Lorcana. I wish I did, and I will play a lot more because I did pretty well. So yeah, it was just so exciting. I found out later in the day that I had made a uncalculated error here, that I probably beaten him. I was told by one person that day and a bunch of people the next day that you had that. I'm like, oh, good. I'm glad to know that I had that because I'm not a top player. I'll admit that. I'm not even a upper middle player. So it was just really exciting and fun. And oh yes, and a lot of people like, oh, I would have been so nervous. And I said, like, well, I thought I was going to be nervous, but he was very nice, and the judge was so nice, and I just, as I thought, and I'm like, okay, this is cool. And then can I go on? To win the first game,
Yeah.
was like, oh, what? Oh, and I just found out that Aiden played very close to the same deck. I was trying to, play with it and alter it a little bit because I just do those things. Not
Yeah.
following your level of people. I try to sometimes. I go on YouTube and see what's being played. But yeah. So
Yeah.
after that, I was like, okay, geez, I won the game. I won one game. That's just awesome. And then I got so close on the second game. So, I'm
Hey,
jazzed. I'm tired, but I'm
it's
jazzed.
a heck of a story though. You come into DLC, you're like, my first challenge. I'm gonna play in the tournament. It'd be cool. I get some wins. Maybe earn a Mulan. See how far I go. You sit down against the world champion.
Exactly.
Not only the world champion, but you're told for your first DLC first match, not only are you playing the world champion, you're going to do it on stream.
Yeah.
For season 2 first challenge.
Right.
I can only imagine like what was going through your head as you were walking up. Like, what were your expectations, or did you even really have any expectations before you got up there? Like, did you even know really what was going on?
That's a good question, really. Um, I knew what this because I'd been to other challenges, so and I knew that's kind of the hot seat for anybody who lands there with their opponent. Just because, and the judge is right there, and but I don't know why. I thought I would be really relaxed. I thought I'd be really nervous. I just said, "What the heck? Go for it!" And I don't know what came over me. I was nervous. You might be able to, I have the shakes here and there, but yeah, I was a lot more clear-minded than I am on a lot of other games that mistakes on or misuse or stuff like that. And they were really great about pointing things out nicely. And I think I set it up by saying to them, just help me at any point, because I'm not at this level of understanding of how even all the rules work. So it was great. It was so much fun, and all the people I met afterward. One guy said, I can't keep it together. He said, Brian, and I said, yeah, like, I don't know you. And he said, I saw your game on, stream or Switch or something. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. That's why they were filming. And then he was like, cool or something. I think he even asked for my autograph. No. So yeah, it's just, it's different. And it's what do you call it? It's meeting new. I certainly did that with the costume, and now I'm got my 10 seconds of fame, and it's kind of exciting.
And you beat the world champ in a game, but you took down the world champ in a game. Yeah, we'll call it.
And I was
we'll call it 1.5.
Me,
Like you're almost there. Yeah, it was like 1.75.
I'll have to watch it because I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please do. I wish I commentated your match. I didn't have round 1. But no, I really appreciate your story, and I appreciate you being here because we do see, like, on stream, we see the top cuts, we see some of these celebrity players, and there are stories and fun moments happening all across the room that we don't see. And of course, we got to see yours because you did go up against DAQP round 1. But like, it's really, really fun to hear your story and kind of that emotional like roller coaster as you're getting pulled up to the table in your first ever match and going toe to toe with DKP. We should have had DKP here tonight. Like, he's the intersection with all our.
I know, right? He's the glue holding all of this together. Oddly,
right. What a fantastic ambassador for the community. But yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that is true. So last question, Brian. So like, hey, you went into the challenge. You went toe to toe. You went toe to toe in the gauntlet, like with a world champion on stream. I mean, it doesn't get any bigger than that. If anybody else, ends up in that scenario, what advice do you have for him?
Breathe. Just take a breath, keep breathing, take it as a gift, and relish the moment, because I looked around. You gotta kind of like the people in sports sometimes when they just take a moment and go, wow, whatever, I'm in the Super Bowl or the series, that's going on. It's neat, and you meet also wonderful people, and the game's
Yeah.
great. The game's so awesome.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, breathe.
It's
You
good advice
got
for all of us.
You got this.
Yeah. Well, Brian, thanks so much, like, for being here and hanging out in the green room and everything. This was a treat, and I wish that I
Thanks
got
for
to
having me on.
hang out with you more. Yeah, I wish I got to hang out with you
No,
more. at the
thanks for being
DLC.
here, Brian.
Yeah. But we'll see you at Richmond, maybe.
Thanks, Logan. Liam. Somebody already said that. I'm like, wow, yes, that would be great. I mean, I want to play more, especially after that. Like, okay, you got so close. The youngest,
Yeah.
right? Aiden.
Yep.
Aiden did that. I mean, and I can show that even I don't know a lot. I can play a deck that's relatively easily to get a hang of and do that well and learn more. So, have fun.
Yeah.
like the chat says, you gotta have fun.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much, Brian. It was a treat, and we'll see you next challenge, hopefully.
I hope so. At least, some of the ones that are coming up are the competition. So you bet.
Yeah.
What are they? They're there's the competitions that you get to go to the challenge or something like that. So they're talking about
CCQs.
it.
Yeah, the CCQs.
CCQs, okay. So
Yeah.
you already know. I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the
Right,
next
have a good
CCQ
one.
I know of.
Thanks for having me on.
All right. Take it easy, Brian. All right.
No, thanks for being here.
Yeah. Next CCQ that I know about is Charlie's, I think, in December. There might be one earlier.
There might be. I have a ticket to Charlie's though. So
Yeah, I think there's one on the West Coast, Tacoma maybe, but no, it's super fun story. I like those because Aiden is a fantastic story. And those are the ones that we end up seeing when people rise through the ranks and at the top cut. But then, Brian's story is also super amazing. Like, what a fun moment. And it's fun to be able to kind of capture that.
I mean, it's kind of the dichotomy of the room you're looking at, right? Every DLC, we have opposite ends of the spectrum story. We have people who are just every day constantly like this, this is just completely in it. I'm going for a top cut. I'm going for a Continental's invite. I'm going to be the world champion. And then you have some people who are like, I want to be part of the community, and this is my first time being able to enjoy this. And I'm just wanting to see how I can measure up and how fun I can have during the day. And I think both stories are equally as important.
I agree. Hold on, real quick. I'm taking a pause to send a note to somebody who's in the chat right now on Discord. If you're watching and you know me on Discord, check your Discord, because I'm sending notes. Yeah, I totally agree. And I don't know. It's the magic of the DLCs.
Yeah, no, I mean, just the amount of storylines in the room that maybe we'd just go unheard, because imagine if Brian and DKP hadn't been on stream game one, right? Imagine literally anybody else. We wouldn't know this story, probably. So following these little threads and having these special moments just amplify why I'm so happy that season 2 is back in full swing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I do I will mention before we talk, I want to talk about your run before we end the show. Before I do that, I just want to talk to folks about if they're going to go back and watch. I just want to highlight kind of some of my experiences. I got to broadcast. It was amazing. And the reason I want to mention my experiences, I want to tell people what matches they should go watch that I saw. But to kind of tee that up, I got to do once again some streaming this weekend. It was amazing. I got to do a whole video on this because I can't talk about it concisely, but it is still a dream to get to do it. The whole weekend goes by in a blur. and I love every second of it. But I didn't do as many matches as I usually do because we had a larger team this time, which was, I think that's good. I think as disappointing as it is for us to only do maybe like 4 or 5 matches over the whole weekend, I do think it makes for a better viewing experience when we rotate more often for the audience, because I also think it keeps us fresh.
Yeah, for sure.
There are other commentators who have different thoughts and say they can go for 12 hours straight. But for me,
Surely you wouldn't be talking about JDZ, the man.
I will not say names, but it might be. No, but I love him to death. But he's always locked in, though. He's on another level all the time. I asked him actually this weekend. I was like, JD, how many levels are there? And he said, infinite. They're an infinite number of levels. You're always moving.
It never ends.
It never ends. So, but yeah, so the whole thing's a blur. So as a result, I actually have not watched many of the matches. Out of all of them the weekend, anytime that it wasn't in the booth, I was out walking around. And the reason is because for me I would either have to be watching the stream and like not getting ready for the next match, or if I'm watching what's going on live, I might be spoiling what happens on the recording when we're actually broadcasting it. And the last thing we want to do is have information ahead of time, because you can fake like big moments, like when somebody gets a big top deck, but it's a lot better, I think, when the audience feels our natural emotion. So all that being said, I only watched I think 5 or 6 matches, the ones that I broadcast. And yeah, so if you're going to go back now out of those 17 or 18 matches that are being broadcast, and I were to recommend to folks like matches to prioritize, there's a couple I did want to mention. One is obviously the finals.
Yes,
the
absolutely.
Finals was bonkers because not only it was a 5-game set, but the best part about it was both players got to do what they wanted to do. Both players showcased their skill, and they kept winning on the play. Frank obviously had the edge because he was on the play game 1. But my favorite part about it was Frank had built this weird version of the deck. It wasn't super weird, but there were a couple cards teched in. There was the Tinkerbell.
Used that a couple of cards. His deck one was with a 4-liner on Dreamboard.
Yeah. And there's the Tinkerbell, the 3-drop, and then there's Timothy Q Mouse. There's a Scar in there as well, but the big fun ones were like Timothy Q Mouse and the Tinkerbell. And we saw them in games like 1, 2, 3, and 4. Either they went into the Inkwell or they were played like once for a little bit of effect. But we never really knew like why, like what role they were supposed to fill. We could guess. And so Frank was kind of teasing us with his build. And then he goes into game 5. And in game 5, Frank's deck works to perfection. And we saw exactly why, against a Blurple deck, Frank built his deck the way that he did. Dropping a 1-drop, then he drops Timothy Q Mouse on turn 2. He drops the Tinkerbell on turn 3 with its 1/3 stat line. Then he gets the turn 4. He sings the strength, and then it's just all gas from there. And the 1/3 stat line of the Tinkerbell, the extra lure, all of that, like Frank designed the machine to do a thing, and it executed its game plan perfectly in game 5 to win him the tournament. And like, there's something really, really poetic about that, that I absolutely love. I don't know. What were your thoughts on that match, Logan?
No, I mean, very much the same. I played Frank in Swiss and was able to beat him in Swiss. So I saw the majority of his deck. And against me, I felt like the pieces didn't quite line up the way they did in the finals. So watching the final game, see the game plan unfold the way it was supposed to, with no hiccups, he didn't have to make awkward ink decisions. Like, it was just, this is what I built it to do in this exact scenario, and I'm getting the key cards to do it. I mean, we talk about it so much that the tournament begins the week before when you're deck building. And I don't think there was something we could have seen to showcase that more than the game 5 of the finals, after everybody had seen Frank's list. And like I said, it's almost a 4-liner on Dreamborn. Like, there's so many 2-ofs and 1-ofs. But I mean, just to see the deck building prowess pay off in dividends like that, I mean, it was just insane.
Yeah. So absolutely watch the finals. Obviously everybody's going to anyway, but go watch the finals. Watch the Top Cut. The Top Cut's great. But the other couple ones I wanted to mention, one is kind of fun. Like, it's not super meta relevant, but like Spessie's deck is kind of fun. It's green steel aggro, but him working in the fishing line or the fishing rod was super fun. And it's just kind of a fun match to watch. But the other match that I thought was like almost poetry. It was a beautiful game. Was Josh Polt's match against a blue steel deck. And Josh was running the Amber Emerald, like Circle of Life dogs build. And he had Scar Heartless Hunter in there to draw for some card draw. He had, Surfer Stitch in there to recur with the Circle of Life and the Heads Held High, or not the Heads Held High, but the Lost in the Woods Under the Sea combo. It was a very fun deck to watch. And you got to see its game plan executed to perfection numerous times. And it was against an Sapphire Steel deck, which you don't usually see in the meta as well, and probably not something that Josh was preparing for. Both players played fantastic. The match, I won't spoil it, but I will say game 3, there's this incredible moment. Everything hinges on it. And if you're looking for like almost a perfect match of Lorcana to watch, that's the match, because it was also... both players had one loss, so it was basically a win and in, and or not wasn't a win and in, but it was basically a stay alive match on day 2, and you should go watch it. You should just go watch it. That's all I'll say. Logan, I know you're tired, but if we could, before I want to ask you about your story, but there's one other story that a lot of us were watching this weekend. Another player making a run, and that we were all following out, and we were very excited, and she was in the chat, and I wanted to invite her in.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going to invite her in, and I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's Monica from Lorcana Duo.
Monica!
What's up? Is my audio working?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
First of all, your background makes me look like an amateur.
I'm making a cameo. Hey guys.
Hey, Patrick, how's it going? How's it going?
Good. We're still really excited and really hyped that she went so far. We got so many amazing messages from different Lumineers out there, and like husbands, boyfriends saying that their girlfriends or significant others are starting to get more interested or getting inspired to play, and that really warmed our hearts. Like the tears were welling behind my eyes just seeing those messages come in.
Yeah, a couple people are now convincing their wives to go to a DLC, so super happy to see more ladies out there in the upcoming season.
You have fans in the chat tonight. It's nuts. It's funny. The chat will go silent for like, I don't know, like 20 minutes. And then, something will happen. Like you pop on and everybody just goes nuts. By the way, Clear Strength, thanks for being here. Another fantastic content creator. Talk about your run. Like, so for those who don't know, Monica, you went on a heck of a run. Everybody was following you. And we all have favorite players and stuff, but I do think like the content creator crowd, there's a very particular, like, we have a special bond. And when any one of us like does super well, like we're extra excited. So that was also going on. What was your weekend like?
So I guess my weekend started with expecting to just get the Mulan promo. So I set the bar high for myself and just try to do 3-0 drop, and then have the rest of my days to like do like pack rush, because I really wanted like the playmat, and I'm like 18,000 tickets. It's like insane. I need to like do all these side events. But I got to the 3-0, and then everyone in my group are just like, you're crazy, like just try it. And every round I'm like, okay, I'll try one more. And then next thing I know, it was like I was 8-0 in the first day, and I like couldn't believe like what was happening, because I would look down and I look at the score, I'm like, yeah, it says that, but I'm like, I can't believe I have the potential to actually make day 2 and then continue my run the next day. But yeah, it was just craziness all around. And so like towards the end, I was like facing people from like world-class cards, and like I've seen them on like social media and everything, and they're like great players. I'll sit down, to my right, it's like the Worlds rematch. So I like didn't felt like I belong in that area, but the Lorcana community always just like was so welcoming, and they like hype me up. So it's just a great day, I guess. Yeah.
The chat's still going nuts.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So I love this image of you like on day 1, like fine, I'll go win another game.
Just like everybody, you're like, okay, cool, I got Mulan, and everybody's like, well, do one more, and then you win, and you're like, all right, well, I got Mulan, I'll finish. Well, do one more just to see, and then it just happens again and again and again. Like, I know you said, like, at the end of the day, you kind of looked at the score and you're like, man, I still don't quite believe it. When did it really, like, I mean, because I was next to you day 2. I mean, you were at table 1 facing Diego. Like, did it really sink in that moment? Like, wow, I'm here. Like, I did it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it was like the first, when I sat down day 2 against Diego, and like I looked to my left and said table 1. And then as we were playing, like I see like crowds of people are like surrounding that area because that's like where they want to like learn or like watch great players and see them actually play live. And I think it kind of just sank in there. I was like, whoa, I'm actually like sitting down with all these like great players around me, like you, Zenulus. Like I think that point, and then I lost. But then I was like, oh, I'm still happy to be here. Like it was just a great run. But yeah, I think there was definitely that moment where everyone was like watching me, and I'm like, oh, I've never had people like actually watch me like play games. Like I make content and just because I love the game, but like not for like competitive play.
I mean, so you ended up making the top cut. I mean, we can talk about the high of, being at table 1 of day 2, I'm sure forever, because, the emotional highs of it are insane. But like when you finally had the lock in and knowing that you made top 32, like what was that feeling like? I mean, especially after you said you started the weekend, like I just want to go 3-0 drop, get my Mulan, and then try to get my prize wall tickets. Like what was that sink in realization moment like?
I think it was when I also realized who was around me. Mainly because I like would feel nervous if I looked to my right, it's like DKP and like Ed. So I was like, I just have to log in at this like table and just look at the same cards I always have like the past like few months and like just focus on what's in front of me in that match. And it definitely helped me focus. Like I know a lot of my teammates were saying that I didn't even look at my opponent because I was just like looking down at during the match, and then I'll have like the conversations afterwards. But yeah, I think that's when it really like when I logged in, like when I started being surrounded by all these people that kind of intimidated me. I just at the end of the day, it's the same 60 card deck I've been playing, so that's just what I need to do. And then yeah, it worked out. Until I faced dogs, and then I didn't know what I was doing from there.
It's a really difficult matchup to navigate for Amber Steel for sure. But I mean, even facing that, and I mean, you still persevered and just made top 32. I couldn't be happier for you. Your story was one that I personally was following all weekend, and every time you got a win, and even after you made top 32, everybody was like, "Look, Monica made it." I was like, like I couldn't have been happier. Like if anybody for the weekend had the storyline to make it, like I was so happy that you of all people did make it.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it was unbelievable, and everyone was super nice. Like, especially Team Milestone. Like, I sat down and R&B just told my opponent like, "This girl's the best. Like, you should watch out." And I was like, "No, please!" Like, I'm scared. This match hasn't even started. Like, I could just like fall on my face right now. But no, everyone was like super loving, and I love that about the community.
Oh man, I think your opponent here in that round is in the chat as well. So I love this comment. So yeah, I don't know. It's just so cool. Because there's just so many things that you did like for all of us. I mean, Will mentioned right up front, of course, like, and you all indicated how, like you and Patrick, how you're getting these messages from people who are now convincing their spouses to come to these events. Like last season, I'll just say it, we had 3 women in the North American Championship. 3, and one of them qualified through a last chance qualifier in LCQ, I believe, that morning.
Yep.
Other than that, we would have had 2. And so like for you to make it, is incredibly inspiring to all of the women out there who want to go to DLC and qualify. And it's motivating. And it's amazing. And then on the content creator side, it's something that resonates with me. I know that's the smaller piece of this, but it really is the smaller piece of this. I don't want to put this on the same, footing as the other achievement, but like, content creators donate or we give so much of our lives to this game.
Donate's
and
a good
nobody
word.
asks us to,
Donate's a good word.
right? Donate's a good word. And nobody asks us to, right? Like this isn't a pity party thing. Like nobody says, Liam, you have to go make content. You know, Monica, you have to go make Instagram content. We do because we love the game. But what that does mean is that, you know, you might be on, I think you were on like your honeymoon, like making content and like, you know, doing box breaks, like, you know, when you're getting ready for a wedding. Yeah. You're like breaking boxes while you're thinking about a wedding. And like, there's so much of our lives where we donate mental energy and time and space and money to creating content just because we love the game. And the same way that players do, you know, the same way that you grind games, Logan, like endlessly to get ready for these challenges, you know, it's kind of the same thing. And so for us content creators, like to see you like go out there and crush it, like all of us are like, yeah, one of us, like, you know, and to see you get that validation after after giving so much of your life to this game was
Donate's
just, it was
a good
really
word.
cool
I'm
as well.
gonna stand by that. Donate's
Okay.
a really good
Okay.
word.
Yeah, that was cool as well, and it was just an inspiring run for so many reasons, and so happy.
Yeah.
I mean, also this just kind of goes back to the thing that's kind of been the theme of the night. There's so many storylines at every single DLC, and this just is another one. You know, somebody who spends a lot of time making content for the game, loves the game, obviously. But I feel like there's some people that look at content creators in general and maybe have the opinion often incorrectly that like, oh, well, they just make content. They're not that competitive, or, you know, maybe they don't have the chops to get that far. So you not only proving them so wrong because you play wonderfully all day, but I mean, just having that moment of, again, like Liam saying, another are you the first, is Monica the first woman that's now qualified for continentals?
Yeah, ours at least. I don't think anybody in Europe did either. Did they, Monica? There was none in Europe, right?
I don't think there was a woman in Europe. So I mean, just to kind of kickstarting the season to where we don't only have the youngest Golden Mickey winner, but also the first woman to qualify for continentals. I mean, it's just a weekend of storylines, and you were just another huge piece of that. Like, I mean, I couldn't be prouder. I couldn't be happier for you, honestly.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. No, it's like pretty insane. And like, you know, on the same like kind of message, like it's like content creators won't be as competitive. I think anyone has like the capability of going top cut and even winning a golden Mickey. I obviously went into it like not thinking that I was gonna make it, but you know, that's kind of just shows like if you just show up and you try your best, like you could take it all the way. And you know, sometimes the world or the day is like on your side, and you know, by not going to DLC or a CCQ even, like you wouldn't know until like if you just show up, you know, and then just run the game and put your heart out there, like it will show, results will show over time. What it's not always like I struggled last season trying to get like just prize hall tickets. Like I think we had to like make a certain like wins. And like I would always be in the last round being like, please let it be like let me get my tickets for the day. But now I can like say that I like made it to nationals and like even got the shiny Elsa mat. So you know, you never know until you just show up and try. And I almost didn't show up and tried, but I'm glad that I had a good support system that pushed me through. And hopefully this story will help people push through and go show up to the upcoming DLCs and CCQs.
Yeah, totally. We do have a correction in the chat. Oscar, and I can't do their last name. I'm going to try. Rogue, I can't do it.
I'm not going to try.
But, yeah, Oscar was the winner of this Stockholm CCQ. Qualified for Europe a couple months ago. So
then
there's
easy correction. First North American woman.
Yeah,
Okay.
1-1. So which is amazing. Like besides the challenge, that like what was your favorite part? Because I know you're obviously a content creator as well, and you coming up with that lens. But like, what was your favorite part of the weekend? Like besides kicking everyone's butt. I don't know.
I kind of miss this part. I kind of just miss like walking around, finding people and just talking to them. Being in like so many back-to-back rounds for like 10 plus hours. Like I kind of just sat at my table by myself for a good chunk of it. But being in a DLC and just like running into people and being able to talk to them, ask them questions, or like just like just like talking about Lorcana content or whatever like pops up. I think that's the best part. Like I got to actually meet all my internet friends in person, and then making new in-person friends, and then finding them on the internet. So it's just building your community more and more each time you go, because you just meet so many new people and players, and then even your opponents could be like your friend by the end of the day. Like no matter that result, like I haven't met an opponent that has been mean, or like everyone's just so friendly. So like, you know, even whatever the results may be, like we always end up talking if we have extra time in the next match, and wish each other good luck for the remaining matches or however there are.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. Like you and Patrick are some of the best ambassadors for the game. And every time you like talk about the community and all that, and just your content and everything is amazing. So I don't know. I don't want to cry again.
Oh, I'm holding back too.
It's
I actually there was
it was a
moment
weekend of tears. So like,
yeah, I think I cried right when I checked in, because like right when I got my badge, the person behind me was just like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe I actually made it to a DLC. Like I never thought this would happen to me." And then I just started like bawling my eyes. Like I was just like, "Man, everyone should go to a DLC. It's like a fun event." And like I know it's not always easy for people to like make it to these things. So seeing someone so grateful and like having just like a blast, like it didn't even start yet. Like he just got his badge and like just walked like through the doors. So just hearing that, like, you know, the DLC magic is there for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. You were gonna say something before. There was a moment. Was that what you were gonna
Oh,
talk
that was
about?
the moment. Yeah.
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 The moment.
The moment that made me cry.
Yeah. Yeah. There were so many tears. It's funny because the I talked about it earlier, but the line like of people getting there and just seeing. The thing about that line is people should have been annoyed. It was a very long line, and even if they understood it, they should have been. 2,000 people in line. You're in line for like an hour or whatever. People should have been irritated, and they weren't. Everybody was so happy in that line because there were so many. Like there were friends, there were jokes, there were people goofing around. They were all there for a common reason, and yeah, it's the tone setter for the weekend. It's the line.
I mean, it's like I said, I got in line and immediately my new Iowa community, like, were sending pictures of me, like, "Oh, look, there you are, hi!" Like, you just didn't have time to be upset with the length or the wait because you're too busy meeting up with your friends and family again. Like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. You just end up like standing, and then you're just standing and like moving a little bit at a time.
And like every few steps, like when you hit the next snake in the curve, you're just like, "Oh my gosh, more people that I've known or met over the past 2 years." Like it was just like a new fun little surprise every time.
Yeah. It's a fun, such a fun game. All right. Any other closing thoughts, Monica? I'm sorry. Any like, I don't know.
No, I don't
know.
I think it basically just, I hope to see everyone at the next DLC. Hope everyone brings their wives and girlfriends. I mean, they don't even have to like play in the main event. Just like go have fun and experience all the magic. This is a card game, so it's a Disney card game. It should be fun. Shouldn't be too stressful. You can make it stressful, but at the end of the day, it's just a fun thing to do with friends.
Yeah. You're too awesome. Okay. Thanks for jumping in. For everybody, Monica was watching like on the couch, like just chilling, watching the show, and I saw her in the chat. And I was like, let's go. So thanks for jumping in last minute, and kind of sharing your story, because there's a lot of people who were cheering for you all weekend, and
I was one of them. So
Yeah, I definitely felt the love from everyone, and so I'm so thankful for the community.
It's well deserved.
Absolutely,
well deserved. All right. Thanks, Monica. Come back anytime.
Will do. Bye, guys.
All right.
Bye.
I hate saying goodbye to people, Logan, but if I don't, like, the show goes to like, midnight.
Forever. So, we could never stop. Monday nights forever.
All right. I want to close, if you don't mind, by talking about your day, and I'll set it up by saying we did a draft. The broadcasters. I didn't know this was going to happen. I knew they did it at Bologna. I didn't know we were going to do it here. But like the day of the media day, they're like, hey, we're going to go tonight. We're going to go to the hotel. We're all going to sit around and we're all going to draft players. And I was concerned because I didn't even have a good understanding of who was going to be there. I think I thought I did. So all the content creators were like, and here's the thing, everybody was being super like cagey about it. Like,
yeah,
like,
that was
hey,
like, because the night we were going to get our badges, even Baker was like, yeah, we're going to go do our fantasy drafts now. And I was like, what? And he goes, shh. And I was like, okay.
yeah, everybody's, and none of the other content creators would like sometimes, you know, you'd be like, hey, is like Scott Marksing to me here? And the other, you know, somebody else would be like, I don't know, maybe. You know, it wasn't like a fantasy draft, like a football draft where you had all the players on the board and you like, you know, you got to pick. You had to know who was there because some of the other content creators they weren't giving me much. Some of them were helpful, but so we all had our like lists, and it was fun because my philosophy on it was, you know, obviously you want to win.
Yeah.
But I think the draft is an opportunity for people to, you know, have fun by predicting who's going to win. But also, I think anybody could go in and just grab, like, look at a world's roster, look at some big rosters, have their list of like, you know, 30 or 35 of like the best players in the world. And then, you know, you grab the top 35, whatever. I think it's better, both competitively and just more fun to like, you know, pick some good players. But then, you know, there's a ton of Lorcana players who are very, very good players who just didn't catch their break in the first season. And like, yeah. So because when you look at the top cut of this DLC, you know, you had some expected names, but there were 30 other players, you know, that were not in the top cut. You know, Zan wasn't there. Zach Bivens wasn't there. All of these players you'd normally think of as like, you know, these are the best. So it's always fun to look for those players. You're like, yeah, you know, they're going to make it. So my team was Ed Chu. I took Brian Cortad. He's not very prolific on social media, but he's always like grinding and is a great player. I wanted to have a European player. So I took Lucas Kaupa. Because I think for us American, you know, content creators and broadcasters, it's good. You know, the European fans are watching too. And I don't want Europe to feel like we only pay attention to our own little bubble. And Lucas is a really fun player, and he always wears the Mickey hat, and I think he's a great player. And then I talked to him, and he's like, yeah, I brought in Ruby Amethyst, and I immediately regretted my decision.
The Mickey hat let me down.
Yeah, but he wanted to have fun, and he actually did pretty well with it.
Yeah, no, he did. Like his run was actually pretty impressive.
Yeah, finished 5-3 in day one, like barely missing his winning in for the fun deck. And then Logan, you were on my team because A, I was rooting for you anyway, and B, you are one of the best players there, one of the hardest working players there, who, you know, is not a Golden Mickey winner, and your moment is coming. And I was like I'm gonna call it. I'm calling my shot. You know, this is Logan's day. And I was really happy to do it. And actually, when I took you, there were several other people who were like, which was funny. And I was like, should have moved faster. And then I also took, there's another player who's my long shot player, who's Dominic Holt, who I think is a very talented player. Actually a developer in another game, and Lorcana is his competitive outlet, or Daniel Holt, I'm sorry. And Daniel is a wonderful person. And I think he finished 9th in Vegas, and I wanted to give him my vote, and he did fairly well as well. But so anyway, I was rooting for you anyway, but you were also on my fantasy team. And then you were like one of my MVPs because you went on this tear on day one, and it was super fun to watch. So I don't know, like, how can you talk about your day, your journey?
Yeah. It's gonna be really difficult to get through it without
You don't have to. Like,
no, I want to, because like this is like it's another story of the weekend, right? Just another piece of the puzzle, I guess you'd say. So I was not stressed at all going into the weekend. Me and R&B and Humble for the past like 5 days before going up to it, we just, Humble and I specifically had our list locked in. Like we were like, this is it. We decided we're going to play Blurple. It's like, this is it's just what we feel is the strongest deck in the format right now. The format kind of by design is win your die rolls and dodge bad matchups. So why not play the objectively strongest control deck? I think it was Monday or Tuesday night. I've been going through a whirlwind of a job change, and I just moved literally last week, 12 hours away from where I used to be, leaving my Pittsburgh community to come to Iowa. So I didn't have a ton of time to play test anything different, but I've spent the entire set on Blurple. Humble and I did a tier list of like this is what the core of the deck is, and here are the cards that we can add or subtract. Let's rate them by a star system, 1 through 5, and this is how we ended up on our 60. So going into the event, I was really relaxed. I was like, this is the list. It's solid. It does everything I want it to do. We just have to get there. And kind of like Monica was saying, just round after round, I just kept winning. And it was kind of surreal. I got to a point where I was doing well enough. I believe it was round 4. And I got called on stream. And for anybody who knows me, I have the worst stream luck. I have only ever won one stream game in 2 years of playing Disney Lorcana, because every time I'm on stream, I get just abysmal luck. I either brick, or if I don't brick, my opponent just has absolutely everything in their deck, fires on all cylinders, and they get to do everything they want to do. And that didn't happen this time. My first stream match, it was a mirror. I ended up winning 2-0. So like after that, I was riding the high. I was like, wow, the day can't get any better. Like, I was able to be on stream at a challenge and was able to break my stream curse at a Disney Lorcana Challenge. Like, this is insane. The day can't get better. And then I won again. And then I won again. And then my 6th round opponent was Frank Karsten. So
Yeah, it was.
That's another one of those weird ones where I just sit down and like, this is Frank Karsten. Like,
have you played him before?
No, I've never played Frank before. I've met him obviously just because I've been around. But the first time I got to play him, before we even started the game, I had heavy play cards that I was using to track my lore all day. And before we even rolled dice or started, I immediately drew a line through and set it up as if we were going to play 3 games. I was like, no matter what happens, whether I win or lose, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to this is going to be a fight. I'm not going to get 2-0'd no matter what happens. And I ended up taking game 1. Game 2, his deck did the thing that it did in the finals. He, 1 drop, didn't have Timothy, but he played a 2 drop, and then he played Tinkerbell, and I just could not clear Tinkerbell for, it was probably 4 or 5 turns, and she won him the game single-handedly. And then game 3 starts, and after a series of turns, we just get to a board state where I have 5 characters in play to his no characters in play. And even looking at that board state, I was so nervous I was shaking. And he was at 7 lore with 2 cards in hand, no characters on board. And in my mind, I was like, he's going to win. I'm in a losing position. And, I ended up taking game 3. So, yeah, it was, that.
You thought you were going to lose. How'd you take game 3?
Just Elsa 8 is amazing. Tell your friends. The good old set 1 legendary. It was great. It wasn't even I wouldn't even necessarily say it was anything particularly special that happened. It was just my deck doing what it wanted to do, and he just had a series of awkward draws that made him have to make awkward decisions, and I just had answers. And then after that match, I got lucky enough to be pulled on stream again against
it's not my fault.
Against someone that a lot of people may not know, Dave Solberg, who on Discord is known as Attack for Two. Fantastic player, a member of SLTC, was somebody who helped craft World's competitors lists. I mean, just a fantastic deck builder player all around. He was on Sapphire Steel, a deck that was made to beat Blurple, and I lose the die roll on stream. Like when I sat down in front of Dave, like I even told people as we were going up to the stream setup, I was like, oh well, you know, it was a good run for the day. Like I don't expect to win this. Like if I had to lose to somebody, like I'm glad it's Dave because he's one of my good friends. And then, you know,
Can I just say in that moment, like I was trying to follow your run. I also was trying to be a good commentator and like for your stream matches, not like pay attention. I threw that rule out the window with when you were on stream, almost immediately. But like you had, you know, your fans there and friends and family and all that. And Color was there watching, and she came up to me looking very, very worried, you know, when you went into that matchup and said, this is a terrible matchup for him. This is like the worst matchup for him. And, you know, we both kind of looked at each other. And I was trying to like, you know, clear my head before my broadcast game. So I went and walked around and, you know, Color went back to watch. And then I think it wasn't immediately after because I had to go in the booth. And so it was like, so in my head, I was like, okay, this is a rough matchup. I'm like, okay, one loss isn't that bad. If he, you know, takes the beat, he can, you know, keep going and too easy. And then I saw, you know, Color a little while later. It was probably like 30 minutes after your match. And I was like, hey, how'd it go? Whatever. And she was like, he won. Like just totally like, and it was this amazing, like, I don't know, having those two interactions, you know, with her there. And Color, I see you in the chat, by the way. But having those two interactions there was really exciting. And again, as a broadcaster, I don't root for, you know, certain players. I'm totally impartial, like, of course. But when I'm outside the booth, of course, I've got friends competing and I'm rooting for certain people. But it was just, it was really fun. Anyway, I'm sorry.
No. I mean, you know, I already like had it in, like was accepting that I was going to lose when I sat down, and his deck just like, again, it was just kind of a moment of, I wasn't doing anything particularly amazing. His deck just decided it didn't want to work. And that's kind of just the story. Like I ended up 2-0ing him on the draw, and it's just because his deck decided he wasn't going to play the game. And so it was like just another moment of like, you know, I'm on stream at a Disney Lorcana Challenge and I 2-0 my opponent, and I'm like still in shock about the moment. I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. And then I go into round 8. And again, like when I sit down, I have it in my head. I'm like, all right, well, you know, it's been a really good run. It's been like the best possible day I could have. If I lose here, like, I mean, I've had like the best day possible. And then I play the mirror, end up 2-0ing the mirror again. And after you know, the final card was played, and, you know, I was just in shock at the moment. Like I just kind of sat back and was like, I'm 8-0. And I don't know how to process this. Yeah, I mean, like, to tell you that I was like just overjoyed and stressed, it was just insane. That just doesn't even put it into words. I will say, like, as I was going back to our Airbnb, I was still in the mindset. I wasn't like celebrating yet because I was just like constantly in the mindset of like, I'm so happy that I've done this, but I don't think it matters yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is amazing and this is awesome, but I haven't done the thing yet. For anybody who's followed me, like the story of my Lorcana DLC career has been, I can get right there, but I can't get there. So while, like, you know, the entire team was freaking out and being so supportive, I was just like, man, what if this is just another time? And it ended up being that. And again, like, all of my opponents played fantastically. This is not like I'm upset just because of how luck went. but I can't be because of how much luck I had day one. Just day two was the exact opposite of day one. I couldn't win a die roll. I got deck checked round one after our first game, and like after the deck check, I shuffled the deck, did a couple of pile shuffles, and tried to randomize as much as possible. But like after the deck check, I wasn't drawing hot anymore. Like not only was I lost every die roll for the first 3 rounds, and then all of my on the play games I missed ramp.
No.
So that was just the story. None of them were 2-0s. Like I am kind of proud of that moment. Like every single match of day 2 went to game 3. But man, like I lost the first one, and when I lost the first one, like all the team came up and they were like, it's just one. Like that's why you go 8-0, so you have the buffer. And then I lost the second one, and then again, the whole team up. It's like that's why you go 8-0. It's like that's why you have the buffer. And then the third one was against dogs on the draw, and they played well. They altered very well. They got what they needed, and game 3, like I missed my 1 drops. I missed ramp. Like I didn't have a shot game 3. And just the feeling of like, man, what another story. Like I felt so conflicted going to day 2, like I said, because I've been in situations where I'm like, I just need one more, or just like I've put myself in like the best possible position, and I just don't have the luck I need when I need it. And that's, man, it hurts. I don't think there's another way to put it. And then to cap it off, like, X3 can still get Simbas, and then last round pairing, pull it up, and it's against Ed Chu. And I'm like, of course it would be Ed Chu. Who else would it be? So I said, and Ed and I are friends. I win the die roll. I win game 1. It was a non-game. It's a Blurple mirror. Game 2, he's on the play. It's a non-game. It's a Blurple mirror. Game 3, I'm on the play, and like I feel really good about my hand. And we get to the point where he's at 7 ink, and I play a character, and he goes Hades. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like 1 Hades is fine. Next turn, I play another big character, and he goes Hades. I'm like, all right, that's fine. That's 2 Hades. Like I can come back. Next turn, I play a character, and he goes Hades. I'm like, okay, this is not fine anymore. And the next turn, I play another character, and he goes Hades. And I'm like,
No.
yeah, like, so you are now looking at the only player who started day 2 8-0, who not only did not qualify for Continentals, because every other player that started day 2 8-0 qualified. I also didn't get a shiny card, which again was like the story of my season 1. And starting off season 2 like that like hurts a lot, but man, it just makes me want to play more.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you've heard all the things, and I'm your teammates and Color, and I'm sure friends have been telling you all the right things. But like, I mean, like there's a reason I picked you for my team. And yes, it's because we're friends. Yes, it's because we sit here every Monday night. But you're also one of the best bets in the room. Dan Arnold is another perfect example. Over at TFM, every tournament last season, on the bubble. And when you look at some of the other really good players, you look at, Zach Bivens is a great example. Like Zach swings wildly. He finishes top a lot, but he also finishes at the bottom a lot. And, he didn't have a great day yesterday. Zancia didn't have a great day yesterday. And that's TCGs. And Dan, not a name that I think was on many people's minds when it came to, somebody who was going to be in the top 4 on some people's minds. And sure, Dan, very, very confident, former Transformers, world champion, very, very talented player.
Yeah.
But he never had his break, but he was always right there. But he was probably one of the best picks because he consistently is winning a ton of games. You're like, I'm using him as an analogy because he just needed his break after an entire season of finishing on the bubble, and now he's top 4 Golden Mickey Winner, and you're the exact same. You know, you're right there every single step of the way. You're one of the best bets in the room because you're so consistent a player, and you work so hard, and you know you're going to get your break. You know this is one of those days where like you're literally like you're 2 ramp cards away, right? You're 2 mulligans away.
I'm 1 die roll. I'm 1 ramp card. I'm 1 4 drop that I need away. And like had one of those things gone right day 2, like it would be a completely different story. And like I just ran out of luck.
Yeah. And I appreciate you sharing your story too, because like you've been saying it over and over again all night. Like DLCs are about stories, and you have, you know, close to 2,000 players there. Every single one of those players has a story of the weekend. Some of them are excited stories where players make top cuts. Some of them are great stories where players go in just wanting to win the Mulan. That's their only goal, and they squeak out that 3rd win, you know, in round 8 and win the Mulan, and that's the highlight of their day. And some of them open iconics in, you know, super sealed. And then, you know, but for every great story and for every happy memory, there are also some heartbreaking stories of players who, you know, had a bad beat or, you know, prepared for months or a year in this case for a DLC and, you know, had a rough go. And we all see the good stories because people talk about them, and we see the top cut and all that. And we don't see all the other stories, the stories of perseverance, the stories of resilience, and I don't know. And so I love you sharing your story because when you win your Golden Mickey, we're all going to be able to look back on this story and reflect on the rest of your journey, and it's going to make that win that much better, and it's going to make that story of you winning that Golden Mickey that much more complete. And so I appreciate you.
No, man. I mean, you know, the emotions of the weekend are just, you know, going from like the highest of highs to like just this rock bottom. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's really hard. It hurts a lot. But it, you know, it doesn't make me want to do anything but play the game more. Like, I know I can do it. I just need a couple of things more to go right. And like, man, Aiden said it best. Like, you don't give up. The only way you lose is to stop playing the game. And I'm going to get there eventually. And man, when it does, you guys aren't going to be able to do anything without hearing my voice.
Yeah. We enjoy it now. Like, I mean, that's not a threat. Like, man.
But man, it's, you know, it's one of those moments that like it's hard to talk about sometimes because it does start to like weigh on me personally. And in some instances like has made me be like, man, am I actually like good enough to do it? And then I have days like day 1 where I am literally the only person in the room that beat Frank Karsten that weekend. He was X1 all weekend, and his 1 was to me. Like, I've you know, in Seattle, I was playing in a side event and I 2-0'd DKP. Like, I can do it. I have the skill to do it. It's just needing the correct things to line up to get there. And I sometimes I feel weird. I feel weird sharing stories like this sometimes because I almost feel bad in a way doing it because I almost like I don't want to overshadow the people that did have their miracle runs. You know, people like Monica, people like Aiden, like they absolutely deserve their flowers. And I don't ever want to take away from moments like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't think it takes away from them at all. In fact, I think it makes their stories better, because it you're showcasing what the road looks like to get there, and an example of the caliber of player, that is all over the top 100, 200 players of this DLC, any DLC. So no, I don't think it overshadows their stories at all. I think it's a great story.
I don't know. It's fantastic whirlwind of a weekend. Like, again, I don't want to come off as if like, oh man, it was a bad weekend. It was still a fantastic weekend. It was a dream of a weekend. It was an even bigger dream of a day one. Yeah, I hate to say I couldn't ask for more, because I could have, but it's still just a fantastic weekend. I couldn't have been happier for all the people who did end up making it, and Maelstrom in general as a team. Like, we all showed out very well. 5 of the 8 of us making day 2 is an insane conversion rate. And we couldn't be prouder. Like, we all went to the Airbnb after day 1, and Sailor, who's our elected team captain now, was like, I'm so proud of every single one of you. And like, just having that team moment again was special, and something that we missed for a while now.
Yeah. Well, I think the thread through this whole episode is, thank goodness DLCs are back.
Yeah.
And because it's not about, we look at them as tournaments, we look at them as competitive events, and we look at them as, I know people look at them as stepping stones to continentals and all that. And everybody focuses on, just that this event is all about those slots, to get you to continentals, to get you to worlds. And that's what they are. But they're way more than that. It's a basic level. That's what that is. But it's just to say that a tree is, the trunk, and really, what a tree is it's the branches, it's the leaves, it's the ecosystem, it's the stories, it's the leaves falling, the leaves changing. And the DLCs are a collection of, it's an opportunity to create all of these incredible memories, these stories, these core memories, to shape people's, journeys through life. Aiden, that experience is going to change the way that he experiences life from this point forward, because for a variety of reasons, but to show the value of hard work, dedication, perseverance, focus, and that you can do great things. And even people watching, people who just know of Aiden's story, young, Illumineers, young Lorcana players, seeing his story and then being inspired the same way. Like, there's so many moments that these challenges, these tournaments enable to create, that they're just valuable. They're just amazing. They're amazing things.
No, I mean, genuinely, the theme all night has just been the storylines from every individual is so unique and varied, and we only get a glimpse of a few of them over the weekend. So getting a chance to hear multiple perspectives, I mean, it's special, and not something that I think everyone has the privilege of doing after a big event like this. It's just another highlight of everybody has a different reason of why they're at the DLC, and every person throughout the day develops their own individual storyline, and it's so cool to see those things unfold as the day goes on and as the weekend goes on, and as every round there's just a new wave of what's happening, like what's changed, who's up, who's down, and that's what makes these things so special.
Yeah. All right. We can do this all night. Let's put an exclamation point on that. I came into this, Logan, saying, thinking we're both exhausted. We're both probably gonna be zombies tomorrow. We're gonna make this a short episode, and here we are, probably one of our longer ones.
Silly us thinking we could talk for less than 2 hours after DLC.
I know, but best to do it when the emotions are fresh. But what an episode! I mean, getting to talk to Logan. I'm sorry, getting to talk to Logan was great. Getting to talk to Aiden and Brian and Monica. Probably 3 of my favorite stories from the weekend. Was just a treat. So any closing thoughts before we kind of wrap?
I mean, the only closing thought I have is I'm still in shock that we're in season 2. I'm so excited that we're in season 2, and I'm even more so excited for the next CCQ and Richmond coming up in January. Tickets go on sale next month, I believe the weekend 10th and 11th. I think they've announced.
Tickets on sale the 10th. Yeah.
So make sure we watch out for those.
Yeah. I announced it like 18,000 times on stream this weekend. I should have this burn into my memory, but I'm exhausted. But I believe November 10th they go on sale. Which we have another week between now and then, so we'll make sure to remind everybody next week to set your alarms because they do go fast. So make sure you're signing up for those. And if you're so inclined to head over to Ghent, I think that's happening in March. Tickets go on sale not much later. But if you want to make that trip, there's going to have 4,000 slots. So if you're feeling squirrely and have the time, off work and the money to spend, you can go over there and crush some Europeans. And all the North Americans who travel over there too. By the way, I don't know if anybody caught this during the broadcast, but the runner-up, Franco is the last name. I'm so sorry. I'm exhausted.
It's a long day.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Franco's his last name. Had traveled last season to challenges, and he did Bologna twice. He did Australia, and then several challenges in North America. So this guy's been all over the world playing, which is crazy. So you too could do that if you want to go to Ghent. But that's coming up as well. With that, I want to say thanks everybody for hanging out. Thank you everybody who said hi to both of us, to Logan and I at the challenge. We appreciate each and every one of you. And thanks for hanging out with us this evening. If you would subscribe or follow or do all the things, really appreciate it. If you want to follow Logan, the link is in the show notes down below. You should absolutely do that. Logan does some great Instagram content as well as content on the artist formerly known as Twitter. And if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, we're doing some fun stuff. We actually, like 2 hours ago, released our box opening video for Whispers of the Well. So if you're interested in seeing some Whispers cards, you can go check it out. I won't tell you what we pulled, but I will give you a fun little look here, as I know Logan really wants to go to bed, but I'm going to do it anyway. I show off this. This is the Glimmers have an amazing foil. The Glimmer foils.
These are the Whispers, right?
Whispers, yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
Whisper foils. Brilliant treatment on them, and the way the ink is applied, the foiling really only shows up on the Whispers, so it gives them this really ethereal treatment. I only pulled one Whisper foil, and it was this, so I assume they're all like this, which is nuts. So there you go, Whispers of the Well coming out soon, November 7th, LGS. Go check it out, and go check out our video because it's I don't know, it's fun. We did it. With that, we'll see you here next week, and